Hello, I'm glad you could join me. My name is Pixie. I make videos about the art I make and the books I read, and this is a very special Draw With Me. It is special because for the first time in my life I have treated myself to a fancy adult advent calendar that gives me art supplies. And I'm also super excited because I've always wanted to do one of these like limited art supplies challenge with supplies that I haven't chosen myself, kind of like the art subscription boxes do. So this is really fun and I'm really excited. The calendar is from Pen Store here in Sweden, and it's organized into 4 different themes with 6 supplies per theme. And what I'm using here is the supplies from the first 6 days, which was the watercolor theme. So the supplies I was given was a paper pad, which I chose not to use because I didn't like it very much. The paper very quickly started pilling, like making little crumbs of paper, and I didn't like that, so I'm using my sketchbook instead. And then I got 2 brush pens that are water soluble, and a watercolor pencil, and a water brush pen, and a pan of Gansai paint, which is very similar to watercolor, but it is actually a different kind of paint that uses different binders. Actually, I did use another thing that wasn't in the calendar apart from my sketchbook, which you will soon see, I believe. It is a spray bottle, because I really wanted to do this thing and get this fun effect. Yeah, here it is. I love that. I think it's so fun and gives you a lot of expression in kind of unexpected shapes that you can then work with. But yeah, as you saw, I started this drawing with a self-portrait with no sketch. We die like men, and then sprayed it, and then I'm drawing on top of that, and I chose what to draw partly based on the colors that I had, so pink, green, gray, and this brownish pencil, but also because I wanted to stay kind of in my comfort zone because I've been so low energy lately, which brings us to the topic I wanted to discuss a bit today. So I had all kinds of plans for October and November that were rudely interrupted by my body. I did not take a hiatus, but the hiatus took me. And I always find it really frustrating when that happens, so I wanted to talk a little bit about rest, because I've been forced to think about it. Particularly, I want to talk about guilt around resting. Although personally, for me these days, I find that boredom and like the frustration is the bigger problem. But there is guilt in there, and guilt around resting is really common because, of course, the conditions of capitalism shape our consciousness. I've seen some different ways that people try to relieve this guilt, to like reframe rest. And one of them is rest is productive, which is technically true, but for my personal tastes, it's not true enough. Like, it's fine, but it doesn't really hit for me personally. The other thing I've seen is rest is revolutionary, which is not fine. I really dislike this the most, but I do get the idea. So capitalism pushes productivity, so some people see resting as a form of resistance against this like norm of productivity. The problem with this is that nothing you do as a lone individual is revolutionary, because a revolution is a complete transformation of the whole of society. So by its very nature, it is a collective action. I also think framing passivity and doing nothing as if it's like a political statement or a political action, which is weird because how can inaction be action? But I hope you know what I mean. I don't think that's gonna get us anywhere in the struggle for a better world. Like, doing nothing is simply doing nothing. So this isn't the justification for rest that people think it is, in my opinion. So here's how I prefer to look at it. Rest is mandatory. We don't need to dress it up in various words we value as positive, because rest is simply not optional. It is a mandatory part of being human. It's non-negotiable. This is also true even if you're, like me, disabled or chronically ill, and you need more rest than some people understand. And so you might have had people try to negotiate the rest you need, or accuse you of being lazy, or stuff like that. It super duper sucks when stuff like that happens, but at the base level, it remains the truth that your needs are not negotiable. Your body has the limits that it does, and it's just not up for discussion or negotiation. Like, that's just what you need. Because, like, the options aren't between rest and productivity. The options are rest or a meltdown, or rest or brain damage from being burned out. So yeah, as much as I get really bored when I'm resting, and I get super restless when I'm stuck at home and I can't do everything I want to do and feel passionate about, rest is simply a mandatory part of this human life, and you just gotta deal with it. So yeah, that's how I like to see it, and that helps me. So I hope this was helpful in some way to someone else. Please share your own thoughts in the comments. Remember what I said about this being a bit of a comfort zone drawing? Yeah, so of course I drew an anatomical heart. The self-portrait is also something I am intimately familiar with, and leaves are just fun and easy to draw. I really enjoyed working with this paint, so I have to resist the urge to buy more Gansai paints because I don't need any new paints. But I'm really glad that I have this little pen, because yeah, it was really, really nice to work with. By the way, if you want to see me open the calendar every day, I have been posting that on Instagram and on TikTok every day. So if you follow me on either of those platforms, you'll get to see the opening with the crunchy ASMR sound of the little flaps opening. It's been really fun. Anyway, I really like how this drawing came out in the end. I haven't fully decided what it means to me personally. You obviously get to decide what it means to you. I haven't fully decided what it means to me. Like, the heart I drew is obviously leaking a little bit of pink. So, a broken heart, maybe? But out of the broken heart, there's also this vine of leaves growing. And also, one eye is sharp and is looking at us. And the other is obviously clouded by the heart. Because you don't see clearly when you're in love. Oh my god, I am loving this. See, this is a skill I developed in art school. The ability to improvise a meaning about an artwork. Incredible stuff. But you can obviously disagree with my interpretation. That is your right. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me a while. And until I see you next time, take care of yourself. Bye!